This transmission has been titled The Silent Season. What do we mean by this? Is that now you are going through a passage from one cycle to another, from the idea of arranging energy, arranging activities to pass from where you have been to where you are going, to enter 2026, the year of disclosure, in a way that will help accelerate and bring this about. So, in this transmission, we will provide an exercise, a meditation, specifically designed to allow all the elements that are required, all the elements that are necessary to help accelerate you toward disclosure, toward open contact, and bring them into alignment so that that reality can more easily manifest, so that you can provide the organized energy that will allow that reality to crystallize. This exercise is part of the Interstellar Alliance social experiment, one of the final steps in it that will allow disclosure and open contact to come forward, to bloom, to blossom in your society in the most efficient way for the benefit of all.
Hi, Bashar. My question is that I just recently started to communicate with my spirit team, and sometimes I use my light language, but the thing is that my conscious mind doesn't understand it. So is there any tools I can use to improve my communication so I will understand them better? And is it possible for me to see more things in the future besides just feeling the presence? Or is it maybe just part of my soul contract that I'm not meant to see? And if so, can I change my soul contract, or can we change in any time our soul contract? Thank you.
No, you cannot change your soul contract, but I'm not saying that that is part of your soul contract, is to not see them. So the idea is you can improve that ability. It is not eliminated or forbidden in your soul contract to do so, even though you cannot change your soul contract. But the idea is that light language is simply the receiving of channeled energy, channeled information that is not being translated into your brain into language that you understand. So it's kind of like the raw form of channeling that doesn't translate into any particular language on Earth. You can continue to use it that way to create tonalities that can help people by creating vibrations that they can match that will allow them to upgrade themselves, heal themselves, do a variety of things. But if you wish to have more of a literal understanding or a translation, then it may be important for you to have people actually asking you questions rather than just using it to enhance your connection to a spirit team. So the idea is that, again, if you ground the information in the people asking the questions, then you may be able to practice having a certain center of your brain start to learn how to translate the light language into actual physical human languages by practicing, by having people ask questions, and then you just keep practicing how to allow it to translate into language to give them the information that they seek through you. So you can do it that way. Or in a meditative state for about 15 to 20 minutes in the morning or the evening when it's quiet, you can have a journal and you can ask your spirit team for information. You can ask your own questions, ask them out loud, and then just see what you get and write down in the journal, physically write down in the journal whatever it is you get. It may start out seeming nonsensical, but that's all right. Do this for 2 to 3 weeks. You will start seeing patterns, and this can help you practice allowing that area of your brain that can translate light language into physical language to gain more experience by doing it this way, by writing it down in a journal.
And Safin say hi. Oh, all right. They also say hi, hi.
Well, we say hi, hi to them too.
All right. What about saying hi, hi as well?
Hi, hi.
Hi, hi.
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you
That was lovely.
for allowing us to share a portion of our experience of life.
Yes, we're looking forward to more.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I just want to thank
Speak
you.
up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Sorry. I just want to thank you for acting as a reflection for me.
We thank you for allowing us to do so.
I have a question about instant manifestation.
Instant manifestation, yes.
I know that everything instantly manifested and all through the time delay.
Yes.
I wonder-
Time delay, remember, time delay is just an illusion.
Right.
There actually is no such thing as a time delay.
Okay.
There is always instant manifestation, every moment. It's just that what you instantly manifest in the next moment may not appear to look very different than what you were manifesting the moment before. But it is completely different. The way you would then recognize that you're always instantly manifesting is to create the next instant manifestation to look very different from the one before it. That's how you'll tell you're instantly manifesting. That's how instant manifestation would be revealed, but you're already instantly manifesting, but most of you are doing it in such a way that you're creating a sense of flow and continuity in such a slow change appearance that it appears as if there's a time delay when no such thing exists. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you wish to go with this idea from here?
I want to...
Speak up.
Sorry. I wanted to create a device or a thing that allows instant manifestation.
But you are the device or thing that creates instant manifestation.
I know that, but
You want to create a reflection, a simulacrum
yeah,
of that.
it would be an equivalent of the controls of the holodeck.
You may do that if you wish. What is the first thing your imagination tells you as what would be the best way to approach creating such a simulacrum?
It tells me to start getting rid of my belief systems.
No, not getting rid of them, transforming them.
bypassing them, yeah.
From what to what? Can you pick a specific belief you have now that is not allowing you to do this and tell us what you would like to transform it into that would allow you to do it?
It would be a simple belief that, we walk around the world and, we interact and we touch a wall and it's there, that kind of belief, whatever that is.
All right. And what kind of a belief can you actually replace it with that would allow you more flexibility and malleability in the illusion of space-time?
Well, I was thinking about beliefs as maybe like a virus. Could I program a belief to be a virus and take out the beliefs in the way?
All right. You can do that.
Okay. The zone, neutral zone that you were talking about,
Yes.
I assume that's a method to get that done?
It is one permission slip that takes advantage of certain strong underlying archetypal common energies for you all. So yes, it might work for you as well. If you wish to apply any specific twist to it in your imagination, feel free to do so because your imagination knows what it's doing when it does that.
Do you have a practical method you could suggest to me?
Was that not a practical method?
Yeah, it was. Maybe
So what other practical method are you referring to?
more in alignment with my excitement.
Allow yourself to sit in an empty room, and besides the room, have one other object of your choosing in that room. I would suggest that the object be of a homogeneous material. You understand? Not many mixed materials.
Okay.
One homogeneous thing. As you sit in the absolutely empty room with that homogeneous thing, allow yourself to view it in relatively low light, whatever color seems peaceful to you. Have the light behind you so you can't see it, but have it be bright enough just to see the thing. And as you look at that thing, remember what we said about the prime radiant, do you?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
Imagine this first. What your scientists call a subatomic particle. This is just a euphemism, but it will do for this exercise, all right? A subatomic particle. Can you imagine that?
Sort of.
Sort of. All right, doesn't matter. It's not a precise thing because, as I said, it's only a euphemism. It's only a symbol. Whichever way you choose to depict it will work, all right?
Okay.
All right, so do you have the picture of that subatomic particle?
Yeah.
All right, now, imagine that this subatomic particle has no restrictions, no limitations. It can actually move at infinite speed if it wants to. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
If something can move at infinite speed, that means it can be everywhere at once, correct?
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
That means it could appear to be more than one particle, couldn't it?
Yes.
All right. But you know it's the same particle, yes?
Yes.
All right. That is actually how reality is structured. All of the subatomic particles in you are the same subatomic particle, and they're the same subatomic particle in every single person in the room, and on the planet, and in the universe. The same one particle. Not the same one kind. The literally same one particle makes up everything by being so infinitely fast that it can actually appear to be another particle and another particle and another particle next to itself at the same time. So the trillions upon trillions upon trillions, apparently, of particles are actually the same particle appearing next to itself over and over and over and over again in a geometric relationship not unlike what you are seeing in the holotope diagram. Traces that path on a multitude of dimensions beyond what's represented here, but nevertheless, that's a good slice or shadow of the idea of a higher dimensional form that represents the geometric path that particle is tracing at infinite speed. And every time it crosses itself, every time it crosses its path, it creates the idea of another particle. Now, having said that, the idea is that when you sit in that empty room, aside from that one other object, if you can begin to imagine the particle going back and forth between you and that object, creating all of the particles in your body and all of the particles in that object, and begin to really start to understand and truly comprehend, truly viscerally begin to feel that it actually is the same particle, that you are that object, that object is you. As soon as there becomes no difference between you and that object, you will achieve the state you are looking for, because you will become equal to any other thing you call an object, and there will be no concept of blockage between you. You can become, you can pass through, up, down, it doesn't matter. You can, in that sense, become immaterial to each other because you recognize you are one and the same thing at that moment, and you can trade places in any way, shape, or form you wish. How's that as an exercise?
That could work.
Yes, it could. So play with that and see what happens, all right?
Yeah, I was wondering, is it possible to, instead of do it that way, is it possible to contact a higher consciousness?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Remember, what we have initially said also is that the whole point here is to contact your own higher consciousness as well, because if it's not part of the equation, you actually won't be able to contact another higher consciousness. We wish to tell you all a little secret that we have recently begun to reveal to many of you. You're talking to your higher self right now. But you are allowing us to color it for you with our consciousness to allow you to give yourselves permission to talk to your higher consciousness. You're using us as a simulacrum to give yourself permission to talk to your own higher minds. But your higher mind is who you're actually talking with when you speak with us. So go have fun. Your higher mind will be with you. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Andrew, you good day.
Thank you. We have this kind of idea in our civilization. It's about utopia. It's when everything is perfect and we were trying to build it. And how it's like your civilization doesn't look like...
Our civilization operates on what you would call perfect synchronicity. Everyone is where they need to be, when they need to be there, interacting with perfectly who they need to interact with at exactly the right place and the right time. No one tries to do anything. Everything just happens automatically, like an automatic choreography. We are all in perfect harmony, all in perfect joy, because the only thing that excites us is to do what excites us. And everything that excites us harmonizes perfectly with everything that excites everyone else, and we all come together to do things, and we all split apart to do our own things, exactly when we need to.
So how we come up with this idea is it's not kind of... It doesn't remind anything like you was talking about this neutral zone and your civilization.
As each and every one of you learn to validate the individuals that you are, you will start to recognize that unity, complete harmony, is the product of absolute validation of all the individuals within the union. So by each individual becoming more their full self, by acting on their passion, by going into this neutral zone, becoming a fully balanced being, then each individual will begin to work in perfect harmony with every other individual who also does the same. And the more individuals that do that and create that state of being will then create a harmonious world. But you must understand another secret about the idea of changing your world. You actually don't change the world. You just change yourself and shift yourself to a parallel Earth that is already representative of the vibration you have changed to. The old Earth is still there, it's just that you're not focused on it anymore. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you.
you.
And small question, like I don't remember any experience like people describing about a lot of with abduction and everything else.
Yes.
Does it mean that I don't have any relatives in other civilization?
It does not mean that. It just may mean that they didn't happen that way.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
You all have relatives in other civilizations for a variety of reasons, but it may not necessarily have taken place that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
All right. And another question, like in the childhood, I always had this, I don't know, memory or idea that like I was brought here for this kind of strange program.
All right, well, maybe you do have relatives that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I thought maybe it's how you... Yeah.
If there is any need for you to remember many of these experiences and interactions, then as your life unfolds by following your passion, you will automatically remember. Remember, you will never miss an appointment that you need to keep. The only way to miss an appointment that you have arranged is by worrying that you will miss the appointment. That's the only way to miss the appointment. Otherwise, if you don't worry that you'll miss the appointment, you cannot miss the appointment. So you will remember everything you need to remember. You will keep every appointment you need to keep by just following your passion. It's an automatically organizing principle. So if there's anything about this you need to remember, it will come to you in whatever way serves you best. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Greetings, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I would like you to speak about phobias.
Phobias. Yes.
Specifically, why does it take the energy away from you to give you a fear about something that you shouldn't be afraid of?
If you are afraid of it, it is an indication of a belief system within you. Every single emotion is an indication of a definition you believe to be true about yourself in relation to the circumstance. So phobias are strong symbols of a definition that is out of alignment with your true self, and it is a sparkling opportunity when you feel the fear to use the fear as an indicator and a guide to find out what that definitional belief is, so that in identifying it, you can transform it. But it almost always has to do with the idea of a belief or a definition about yourself in relationship to something in the circumstance or some circumstance in your life that it symbolizes. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe?
No.
Oh, all right. What about it doesn't make sense?
The way that it controls my higher consciousness, that I'm very passionate about being somewhere else.
You mean you are afraid to be where you are?
Yes.
So much that you wish you were somewhere else. That's not being passionate. That's being anxious.
Okay.
So the idea, again, is that any time a fear comes up, be it the idea of what you might call a quote-unquote normal fear or something on the level of a phobia, it is an indication, and I'll go further this time, it is an indication of a belief or a definition about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life. That's what a general fear is, an indication of some negative belief about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life. A phobia, being that it is so much more amplified or magnified, is an indication not only of a negative belief about yourself in relation to some circumstance in your life, it is also an indication of a belief, of the existence of a negative belief that allows you to be addicted to the negative belief about yourself. It's a reinforcer, an amplifying belief that's also negative. That's why it's a phobia. That's why it is so highly amplified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, nevertheless, still an opportunity to ask the ultimate question in any and all of such circumstances when they crop up. The question being, what would I have to believe is true about myself in relation to some circumstance in my life for me to feel this way about this thing? What does this symbolize to me in my life? When you start asking those kinds of questions in a meditative, quiet state, once you have neutralized the idea, you will start getting answers about what belief system the phobia represents. So the first step is when you feel the fear, all right, be somewhere else, back away, neutralize it, don't put meaning into it, remove the negative meaning. It's just a situation, it's a neutral prop. It's nothing. It means nothing at all. Now then ask the question, what would I have to believe is true in order to have this fear, to have this feeling about some circumstance in my life that this thing represents? When you do that from a neutrally balanced place of meditation and you're quiet and listen for an answer, you will start to hear your higher mind answer you about what the negative belief actually is. You'll start to get a feeling. You'll start to get a picture. You'll start to hear something, or you'll just get a knowingness. Something will just pop into your head, or you'll feel inspired about something. You will get some information. But that's the question. What do I have to believe is true about myself in order to feel the way I do? That's the fundamental question. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Anything
Thank
else?
you. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd also like to talk to the teleconference attendees for just a moment and let them know that if we do have a dropout of our signal, to stay online because we will reconnect you. So thank you all for joining us. Would you like to ask a question? Okay, go ahead and sit here.
Hi, Bashar.
Good day.
It's wonderful to be with you again still.
It is always a joy for us to interact with each and every one of you.
Thanks. I was hoping that you could answer to identify for us what the chemtrails are that have been happening around the planet and whether this...
We will not talk about chemtrails.
Okay.
That data is no longer available from this terminal.
Okay. Otherwise, can you tell us anything of the the man-made genetically manipulated virus, the H1N1 swine flu that apparently is man-made?
That data is no longer available from this terminal.
And then otherwise...
Are you noticing a pattern?
Yes. And, well, third one, and I hope it's not the same response, but the question of the apparently impending compulsory vaccination that is planned for everyone to have.
That data is no longer available through this terminal.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No.
These are all negatively oriented, fear-inducing based belief systems.
Okay.
In this particular time now of our interactions with all of you, we simply cannot expend frequencies and energies in those domains.
So in doing so for us, then they will not exist.
Remember, in the reality of the vibration that you prefer to choose, such things simply would not exist. Therefore, it is pointless to discuss things which are not a part of a reality you say you don't prefer.
Great. Well, thank you.
Do you understand?
Yep, I do. That's wonderful.
We know that to many of you this may seem simplistic, but it is actually quite powerfully profound if you really take the full meaning of this to heart. So thank you for allowing us to reflect the idea of the preferred vibration of the new reality back to you.
Thank you. That's very empowering.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you.
The vote is in, and it is...
5 laws. 5 laws is fine to me. I mean, I think if making it officially a law will help people remind themselves of this fact,
Yes.
then that sounds like a useful thing to do.
Thank you. What else would you like to discuss?
Well, I have a few things on my mind that I've been wondering about for a while.
All right, we'll start with the one that you believe is most exciting for you to discuss.
Most exciting.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a little confused.
Oh, just a little?
Yes, because some of the channelings of yours that I've watched,
Yes.
where you have talked about how our purpose is to pursue our highest excitement. You've said it today as well.
Yes.
In my case, I've recently discovered that what makes me most excited would be to build or create something, perhaps a technology or a startup company that that would challenge and potentially change the existing power structure that serves to benefit a few number of people and causes detriment to many people.
All right. Now,
At the same
challenge
time-
them, perhaps you will. You will never change them, because the idea is that you never change the world you're in. You change yourself, and you shift to another parallel Earth that's already more representative of the change you've made within yourself. The old Earth still exists with all the unchanged people on it. It's just now that you've shifted to another parallel Earth where different versions of people exist that are more amenable to the vibration that you prefer.
That was exactly why I was confused.
Yes.
So it seems to mean that trying to change the world is not a good use of.
No, changing yourself is all you need to do, because then your actions will be a sample, an example for others, and you will shift yourself to a reality where others are more in alignment with you, bit by bit by bit, at whatever pace is comfortable for you. But everyone in every world will still pick up upon the possibility that they can do that too.
And so this idea of shifting to a different reality, are there limits to this? For example, someone who is incarcerated in prison, can they shift themselves into a reality in which they are free?
Yes, of course. But that means they have to have a deep understanding of what they chose in the first place that created the reality they're in, so they can understand exactly how it is they need to change themselves in order to shift to a completely different experience. And again, remember that it may not always serve them to shift if they believe they are exploring something that benefits them by being incarcerated. Just being incarcerated as an idea in and of itself is not necessarily automatically a negative thing. It may actually serve many positive purposes based on the theme they are exploring. So you can't necessarily just assume that it's a given that they should do so, but yes, they could.
Okay.
Remember, it's not about whether something is possible. Anything is possible. The question is it probable or is it relevant to the theme you are exploring? Because many things are not relevant to the theme you are exploring in this life, even though they might be quote-unquote possible. It is highly unlikely you may do certain things if they're not relevant. Does that help?
That's something to digest.
Oh, all right.
I'm also curious about something somewhat unrelated. Is it in human nature to things like greed, the desire for power, the desire to dominate others?
No, it is in human learning, not human nature.
And I would put war in that same part of that same question.
It is not really in your human nature in the way that you are asking the question.
Okay.
Yes, of course, there are the abilities to choose those kinds of things in the physical reality that you are experiencing. In that sense, you could say, certainly it is within the nature of the structure of the existence. But in the sense that you are actually a spirit being, it is not in that nature. And in expressing yourself as a human, while you may take on the probabilities or possibilities that such expressions can exist, and in that sense you could say, well, all right, it's part of the human potential structure, it isn't in your nature automatically to go in that direction. It's still a choice based on learning.
So have I chosen a reality in which war exists and all these?
Yes, of course.
Exist?
Because you are looking to transform. And therefore, in order to transform into light, you have to start with the dark. Otherwise, there's nothing to transform from or to. That's the nature of physical reality, is to experience the concept of the transformation of polarity in that way. Yes?
Okay.
Because that's a power. That power of transformation, that power of transcendence is an experience, a valid experience. And unless you start in the dark, you can't switch on a light. Unless you have used the power to forget, you can't remember who you really are. Does that help?
It does.
Is that sufficient?
Well, I also have another question, but I don't want to, take too much of your time.
Out of curiosity.
Yes.
What is it?
Okay. Okay. I'm wondering about who created human beings, how and why, and how, if so, does it fit into our conventional knowledge of human evolution from primates?
There was a naturally evolved hominid that grew naturally on your planet up to a certain point. Then certain branches of that hominid species had their genetics altered by an extraterrestrial society that led to the development of what you now understand yourselves to be as human beings. However, not all branches of the original evolved hominid were changed. The ones that kept developing naturally, evolving naturally on your planet, ultimately became the beings you now know as Sasquatch. So if your genetic material had not been altered by an extraterrestrial civilization, you would all be Sasquatch naturally.
And is that extraterrestrial civilization the Anunnaki?
Yes.
And why did they do this?
It was an experiment for a variety of reasons, but it also on a higher level has to do with the idea of the evolution of consciousness in creation. And it's still going on. You are still, in a sense, altering yourselves, and with the aid and assistance of others also being altered. You are slowly but surely becoming what we call the sixth hybrid race.
The sixth hybrid race.
Yes, we are one of the hybrid races. There are 4 others. You are becoming the 6th, and once you have fully developed into the 6th hybrid race in approximately 1,000 of your years, altogether we will start the journey toward becoming the 7th hybrid race, which will be unlike anything that has ever existed.
Wow.
Does that answer your question sufficiently for now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day. What is your vote?
My vote is for all 5.
Oh, all
because
right.
I think it's very empowering for people to be in the present and to take responsibility for their consciousness in the present.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So my first question is, lately, when I get into a very high inspired state, I have a lot of ideas,
Yes.
inspirations about
Yes.
certain things, and I kind of get carried away. And
Carried away?
yes, carried away into their world, into that parallel or whatever.
Why is that not your world?
It is. I enter it for a while, but then what happens is let's say I have an idea about traveling, and then I look at my bank account, and bam, I'm back in this reality.
Why are you making an association between those two things?
Because I start to take out my credit card to pay for the trip, and I realize I don't have the money to do it.
Why do you make an association between those two things?
Well,
why do you think it's necessary to have money to take a trip?
Well, because the trip I wanted costs money.
How do you know?
Because I...
Have you never heard us tell the story of the photographer?
Maybe I did, but maybe I need to hear it again.
Briefly, a photographer had the great dream, the excitement and the passion to travel all around the world taking photographs of the great sacred sites, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, Stonehenge, all of those. Had no money, not a dime, did not allow that to stop her because she stayed in the vibrational state where she knew that that wasn't necessarily a requirement. She allowed herself to have an inspiration, what many people on your planet would call a crazy, wacky idea that will never work. But she didn't listen to that energy. She didn't say, oh, I absolutely must have money. I absolutely cannot travel around the world taking these photographs if I don't have money. There's just no other way. She didn't say that. She said, there must be another way because I know there are other forms of abundance besides money. Because abundance is just the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, period. She knew that. Thus, then she stayed in the state that allowed her to have an inspiration, this crazy idea. I will go to the airlines and I will ask them to fly me around the world for free. Because she understood that it always requires some form of energy exchange, the inspiration continued to allow her to say, well, not only will I go to the airlines and ask them to fly me around the world for free, it won't really be in that sense for free, because what I will exchange with them will be all the glorious photographs I will take that they can also use in their brochures to attract tourists to fly their airlines. The airline said yes. Flew her all around the world for free, not only for free in exchange for those glorious photos, but actually put her up in the best hotels for free, fed her the best food for free, and actually paid her. That's the power of inspiration. When you stop making associations between things you have no business making connections to. Are you beginning to get the point?
Yeah, I think I get the point. So stay with the inspiration, and then another inspiration of how will come.
Because you cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of first. So if you are not the vibration of being inspired, you can never receive an idea that will allow you to act on that inspiration. You will never perceive it. It will be invisible to you.
I got it. So stay inspired and inspired action will come.
Exactly.
Okay, got that.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
And remember, this isn't wishful thinking.
No, I got it.
It's physics.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does.
Anything else?
Yes. So my mom died a little over a year ago.
No, all right.
And she's been I felt her hanging around quite a bit.
Well, so to speak.
Yeah, well, tell me about that. What do you mean,
Well,
so to speak?
spirit beings have a little bit bigger, broader point of view, and they always know when perhaps they need to be of assistance to you, but that doesn't mean she's hanging around with nothing else to do. Spirits have lives to live, they have things to do, but they will always respond. They will be there for you because time and space for them is not what it is for you, and therefore they can be there when they need to be there. That doesn't mean they're hanging around.
So is it only when she needs to be there? It seems like she's enjoying my life a little bit.
Yes, when I say that, I mean they are willing and sometimes able to simply observe and enjoy what's going on in your life. I don't mean that they always have to have, in that sense, a reason that you need them to be there. They can look in, they can check in, they still love you, they're still part of your family, you're still part of theirs. But I am simply saying they also have lives.
Right.
They don't just hang around.
Well, I found myself the other day buying some books.
Yes.
And being interested in these books that typically I wouldn't be. And
All
then
right.
I suddenly realized these are books my mother would have liked.
Then you may have received a suggestion.
Okay. All right. She's not trying to read them through me, is she?
No, no, no. A spirit can simply understand instantly what's in a book.
I see.
Doesn't
Okay.
need to read them in that
Okay.
sense, although she may enjoy being with you while you read them.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not because she needs to read the book.
Okay. She's just enjoying
She's
my
enjoying your
enjoyment.
experience
Yeah.
of reading the
Okay.
book.
Okay. Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Then
She's sharing quality time with you.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. So in my work, I work with a lot of people, and I work with the way they think about things.
Yes.
And one of the things that I was just talking to my friend at lunch about that I've come up with people is a belief that they need to think in negative ways about things, because if they think in positive ways, bad things will happen.
Yes, that's a belief.
So it's like a superstition that if they
Yes.
think like really negatively and maybe even suffer, then good things will happen to them.
All right, well, whatever permission slip works for you.
Right. That's basically where I get with them, and then it's kind of like, okay, is that the end of our work? Because it seems like there could be a creative way to work with that with them.
There could be, and I will leave it up to your inspiration to find out what that might be.
No ideas?
Oh, I have tons of ideas. It's just not necessarily appropriate for us to spoil all the surprises for you.
Oh, come on. Okay, anything else for me that you have? Just carte blanche?
One moment. Name a historic figure that is one of your strongest inspirations based on what it is you've chosen to do in life that excites you.
Lao Tzu,
Why?
Carl Jung,
Why?
philosophy, psychology, I don't know.
So tapping more strongly into their vibration will allow you an opportunity to see things more strongly from their point of view, and that will give you further insights in your work. All right?
Cool. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day. Cast your vote.
I go for 5 because I think.
Do none of you have your own opinions? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm joking with you.
I think focusing on the fact that everything exists in the now.
What a synchronicity.
Help moving away from being attached to the past.
All right. Because there is no past to be attached to.
Yes.
If you understand there's no past to be attached to, it should be easy. Yes?
That's correct.
Then you don't have to work so hard at it, right?
Yeah.
All right. My work here is done.
So
Or maybe not.
no, well, of course I have questions.
Oh, of course. You know, you can make statements. You don't need questions. And the paradox is that sometimes when you make a statement, you actually open a door far wider for us than the question does. But nevertheless, if you have questions, by all means, don't let us stop you.
Thank you. So for me, I'm noticing that what I want to focus on in life is two challenges.
What is the first challenge?
The first one is relationships.
Yes.
I feel like I haven't been able to attract. I feel like I want to be. I want to experience a relationship and experience a family.
You have no relationships of any kind in your life?
I had, but nothing that...
You had? So you know no one. You have no friends, no family.
No, I'm sorry. I meant in a romantic relationship as someone to share my life with.
Oh, all right. But you are sharing your life with many people.
As in a,
I think you're missing my point. Why are you calling that out as different than anything else? Why are you making that stand out and making it seem so different to achieve other than the relationships you already have created?
Maybe because I have a specific definition of that relationship that is different from, say, friendship or...
All right. I'm not saying that there aren't relationships that are different in that context, but nevertheless, I'm asking, why are you making it stand out as being so different than attracting any kind of relationship?
Maybe
it might be that your definition is making it more difficult to attract because you're creating it to be such a rarefied thing.
I believe that's correct.
You're putting it on a pedestal.
Yes.
Well, hard to reach, isn't it? When it's on a pedestal. If you bring it down to earth, like any relationship, I'm not devaluing it, not invalidating it, but if you allow it to be like any relationship, generally speaking, then whatever unique aspects that relationship has for you will be easier to access. But you can't put it on a pedestal and expect to reach it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is very similar to the idea of having a particular assumption, insistence, or expectation for how something should play out. And as we have already said, the formula for following your excitement is to drop all of that assumption and insistence and expectation for what the outcome ought to be, or how it should look, or in what form it should come. So putting things on a pedestal is very similar to that expectation.
And I'm noticing that I'm not only putting it on a pedestal, but I'm also becoming very picky as time goes. Which you would think, I would think it would be the opposite. But so I have like this really strong.
Do you not trust your life to bring you what you truly need? Do you have to engineer every detail to make sure it's right? Because becoming more picky, as you say, is the surest way to get reflections of others who are going to be just as picky about you. Remember, physical reality is a mirror. And if you become too picky, not saying you can't have preferences, but if you become judgmentally picky, then what you're going to get is a reflection of people who are also going to be picky about whether or not they want to interact with you, because that's what you're giving off. Make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping you relax some of your need to engineer this? And is it increasing your ability to trust that your life will unfold as it needs to, a little bit more naturally?
Yes. And to some extent, when I ask myself, okay, if this never happens, will I still lead a happy and fulfilled life?
That's an excellent question to ask yourself. Asking that question is the right track.
And my answer to myself is yes, but I'm not sure if that's kind of like a mind kind of like type of answer, or
No.
that's what I truly believe.
Allow yourself to believe it if you wish. You don't have to. But if you allow yourself to believe that you will still be truly happy, even if that relationship never occurs, then you'll be truly happy. And when you are truly happy, you make it far more likely that such a relationship will occur. That's the paradox. Because you don't need it in that context, in the sense of neediness, in the sense of desperation. So when you're happy because you're happy, then all the things that are capable of entering your life to reflect the happiness that you choose to have, regardless of whether they show up or not, will be more capable of showing up. Remember, manifestation is not the product of bringing something to you that you don't have. Manifestation is the product of making visible what you already have, but simply don't see it because you're not in the same wavelength. If the idea of that joyful relationship is representative of happiness, then be happy regardless of whether the relationship is there, so at least you give the relationship a greater probability of showing up to reflect the happiness that you already have, because you don't need the relationship to make you happy. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Absolutely.
What is the second great challenge of your life?
It's somewhat you touched on, in your answer, you kind of like touched on it already, which is...
All right. So it might be the same challenge in different clothing.
It's very possible.
Oh, all right. Yes, I know.
It's about financial abundance.
Yes, well, we did touch on that.
So yeah,
do you wish to be abundant?
Yes, I mean...
Then be abundant in all ways, not just financially. Why limit it? Many people think, oh, well, if I have a lot of money, then I'm really abundant. When in fact, having a lot of money could actually be shutting the door to other forms of abundance that would actually be greater. Money is fine because that's a valid symbol on your planet, but it isn't always the path of least resistance to true abundance. Where it's needed, it will come in. Where it's not needed, it won't. And sometimes it not coming in is actually a way for you to get an idea that maybe another form of abundance would actually work better in that circumstance. Such as we described with regard to the photographer. You understand?
Yes, and you know, I'm always prosperous, but it's almost like there's a wall where it kind of taps out. And
again, you're creating the wall with your definitions. There are no walls except as you define them. But again, you may be defining that wall because you believe you need more of a particular kind of abundance than any other. And as soon as you make one form of abundance unequal to all the rest, you throw the whole thing out of whack. All forms of abundance must be equally valid in order for any form of abundance to come to you more easily. As soon as you single one out as being more important, you shut the doors through which all the other forms could come, and you actually make it more difficult for even the form you're focused on to manifest, because now it can't count on the support of all the other forms of synchronous abundance that may be required for that form to manifest. Because they all work together. They all work together. They are not segregated. All forms of abundance support all other forms of abundance. As I said in the example with the photographer, even though she was willing to simply be flown around the world in exchange for the photographs, the airline still paid her. So her willingness to allow one form of abundance actually attracted another form of abundance, and another form, and another, because they're all interconnected. So don't insist on just one form, otherwise you, well, shortchange yourself.
Thank you. So you can't say, I'm just gonna, it's a game. I'm just gonna focus on this one thing and figure out a way to make it work.
You can if you wish, but I'm simply telling you that sometimes when you do that, you're taking the longer road. But if that's the road you wish to take, if that's the path you're exploring, if that's the theme you're looking into, then by all means, that's what you will keep doing until you have gotten every single ounce of understanding and learning out of it that you chose to get out of it. And I'm not going to stop you or dissuade you from taking that path. I am simply telling you what the underlying mechanisms are all about so that you have clarity about why you're choosing what you're choosing and why you're exploring what you're exploring. So that you don't think anything is wrong, you just understand that you're making choices and that there are consequences to those choices and that you can make other choices if you ultimately prefer to. And that's all we're telling you. It's up to you. Does that help?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And there was one question that was brought to me by one of the audience. How can you tell if someone is lying?
We already answered that. What difference does it make?
I'm just the messenger. I don't.
All right, but the idea really is ultimately what difference does it make? If you know that whatever state of being you're creating for yourself is what you will experience no matter what anyone else's intention toward you is, it doesn't really much matter if they're lying to you or not, because you know that the only effect you're going to have in your reality is going to be a positive one regardless of what's going to happen with them. You understand?
Yes.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I think you're amazing.
Why, thank you.
And awful.
Full of awe.
Jinx.
What is your vote?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, wow. For the 5 laws, because to my
because they are also amazing and full of awe?
No. Yeah, they are.
Oh, all right.
And
because?
Because to my human mind, the one being the all and the all being the one doesn't necessarily
capture the essence of everything is here and now.
Exactly. Even though ultimately, I guess, then it does.
As a subset. But what you're saying is you're voting for clarity.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
So one of my questions is, like, the one is the all is the one. The one is pretending to be you, pretending to be me.
No, not pretending. It is you.
Right. In an illusionary sense, creating,
so to speak,
my physical.
But a real experience.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
So how does that exactly relate to everything is here and now and the fact that time is an illusion?
How does it relate?
I mean, not how does it relate, but what on the side where we're all one, what do we experience time as?
You don't experience it.
Okay.
Everything is one. Everything is now. Everything is here.
All right. So pretty self-explanatory.
Yes. Does that help you?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
My other question is it's not really a question, but it's like, can you do that thing where you go one moment, and then tell me about myself?
All right. One moment. Tell me about myself. Well, aren't you going to tell me about myself?
You did a really good job. Tell me about yourself. I'll do whatever you want, Bashar.
Go sit down.
You're not gonna give me any secret insights.
You want secrets about yourself?
Sure. I don't know. I guess no. Yes. Well, I already know my own secrets.
Well, then why do I need to tell them to you?
No bit of guides, information.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. Assurance.
Of what?
Being on the right path.
What makes you think you're not?
I think I am.
Then why do you need assurance?
Because you're awesome. I mean, full.
Why do you need assurance if you know you're on your path?
It helps me keep going when I lack motivation.
Why do you lack motivation?
Because sometimes it's hard.
What's hard?
The path is the path.
And what makes it hard?
My negative core beliefs.
And thus then, when you discover your negative core beliefs and you realize you don't prefer them, what do?
Get rid of them, change them.
You let them go. You transform them. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've done that, then it's not so hard.
Yeah, but there's always more negative core beliefs around the bend.
So, That's exciting. Remember, just because there are negative beliefs doesn't mean you have to experience the discovery and transformation of them in a negative way.
That's true.
Thank you. There's an insight for you. Does that help?
Yes.
All right then.
Thanks, Bashar.
You're welcome.
To Bashar.
Atu.
All right, so let me start here. How many are listening at this moment? Like, how many beings are aware of
475 million.
Wow. And so, and also your name changed from Isasani to Eshakani?
Shakani.
Okay, so from now on you are Shakani people.
We are moving into fifth density and are Shakani people, yes.
Very interesting. And how do we relate to one another in each other's realities? Like, since I got here, I have shifted to a reality based on my beliefs, and everyone else have done that way, right?
You are all shifting all the time, but obviously there are certain similarities you agree to experience in your own individual realities that make it seem like a collectively shared reality.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Can you what?
Elaborate?
Elaborate?
Yeah.
You all have the idea of a collective agreement when you decide to play the Earth game. You create that collective agreement so that you won't have to think about certain things all the time, like gravity and breathing and so on and so forth. The idea, therefore, is that you can focus on what you need to focus on with regard to your individual transformations without necessarily being concerned about paying attention to always maintaining the similarities with all the others to play the same game. You understand?
Not at the moment.
No.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to.
It's like, as we explained before, the idea of playing a game of chess. If you want to play a game of chess, you know that you have to play on a certain kind of game board. And you have to play with certain kinds of pieces, and you have to play by certain kinds of rules, otherwise it's not the game of chess. Correct?
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what you're doing. You're all agreeing that there will be this kind of board, this kind of game, these kinds of rules, these kinds of pieces, and then you can each play the game as you see fit in a multitude of combinations that are individual, but you're all still playing chess because you all agree by the general rules of chess that you will play that game, and you can play it any way you wish within the rules of that game. Does that help?
Yes, fascinating. And so nobody really die then, right? They
no,
just
not really. You just transform into another form, yes.
Fascinating. And
once you exist, you exist. You can't not exist. By definition, non-existence doesn't exist. So you can't go there.
Yeah, I understand.
All right.
So, like, how many coexisting lives do I have?
That are relevant for you right now, it would seem to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 157, give or take.
That's great. And, yeah. So is this one my last one in this physical
reality?
reality?
Is a relative term. You can create the experience that this life on Earth right now seems to be your last one. But again, that's simply a statement being made from within a linear space-time framework.
Yes. That's very true.
I know.
All right. So have you or anybody from your civilization or have visited me physically in a orb format or in a different way?
Beings from other hybrid civilizations have paid you a visit.
The Yahyel?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more of the Yahyel?
About what?
My relation to them.
Obviously, you have counterparts in their civilization. Because generally, when you make some kind of a connection to another civilization, you'll be making a connection to the counterpart life you have in that civilization.
So basically, I can create a life.
You have created a life.
Yes, before I even exist on this one.
Again, before is a relative term.
Just linear speaking, like, for example, so basically everyone is a version of myself.
Everyone exists at once. What you perceive is a reflection and version of yourself. It doesn't discount the idea that everyone is their own selves too. Remember, it's this and that, not this or that.
All right, fascinating. And talking to you, so also it might not be related, but it is, because it's the first planet we're going to visit. It's called Uva.
Uva.
Okay. And do I have a coexisting life where I'm one of the first pilots?
You do have a connection to that civilization.
Oh, that's great.
That is all we are allowed to say.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
And one more thing.
Yes.
Can I shake hands with you at the moment? With the...
My hands are not there.
With Darrow?
We will, in this sense, allow for what has come to be a current trend on your planet.
Oh. That's how I like it too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar. I love you.
That is also a form of contact.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you.
And the vote is in as...
5 laws.
Why?
Because a change in belief, this is a core fundamental belief that changes everything. It's fundamental for changing everything I used to believe in, when I used to believe in a linear timeline.
All right.
So it affects pretty much everything.
All right. Now, the linear timeline is a real experience, even though it is illusionary as a side effect.
Yes.
All right.
And this belief helps me understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What else would you like to discuss?
I'm very interested in, and I would like you to tell us about the Vimana that are written about in the Vedic scriptures.
Yes. Well, there were ancient civilizations on your planet that understood the idea of how to create levitating craft.
Were the Vimanas piloted by extraterrestrials or human beings?
Both.
What was the conflict about?
One moment. We will see if we can translate this into your cultural understanding. You've heard the phrase, stealing thunder from the gods?
Yes.
The conflict that was created in that time was the idea of who deserved to have the technology.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Thus, some of the technology was stolen and utilized, and there were repercussions.
Which races, extraterrestrial and human, were involved in this conflict?
Those in what you call the early Indus Valley, in terms of the human side, in Asia. In terms of the extraterrestrial side, we are not allowed to tell you that.
Okay. And how long did this conflict last?
In your terms of time, there were different phases, but overall, approximately 72 of your years.
And approximately how long ago was this?
You will find this to be more than 3,000 of your years ago.
And are the Sumerian legends speaking of these events also, or was that a different set of events in the ancient Sumerian?
It is a mixture of things, some of which is touching on these, some of which touches on other things.
And then what are the consequences on human beings? Was this part of starting civilization for human beings, or?
It wasn't that far back. Some of the consequences were the destruction and interruption of certain cultures.
So are there repercussions now in the way we deal with conflicts and wars because of this, or have we resolved all the issues?
Again, there is no such thing as the idea of the past affecting the present unless you believe that there is, but certainly it is in the overall mixture of what you are exploring as the concept of how you wish to relate to the concept of technology with regard to power, with regard to space, with regard to your culture, with regard to your responsibilities to the cosmos, so on and so forth, with regard to your relationship to creation. All these same, shall we say, issues are at hand as they were then, and you seem to be going in a similar but then slightly different direction this time, I'll say.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes. And are these people in the Indus Valley, are they related in any way to the Lemurians?
Not as directly as you might think, but there are some ancient offshoots that are intermixed genetically in with that culture. But not as much as you necessarily would think directly.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. And your vote?
For 5.
Why?
Clarity.
Clarity. All right.
I was up a mountain in Sonoma 3 nights ago, and I saw what I believed was a spacecraft, and I wondered whether you might be able to shed some light on who I was looking at or who was looking at me.
Define
the
spacecraft.
I saw a point of light that then expanded to become a big glowing white light, which then started moving across the sky, and then the light turned off, and it was a sort of grey sphere that disappeared.
These are called observers. They are a neutral binding force between a variety of cultures. They check in and see what certain cultures, spacefaring cultures, are doing and how they are interacting with planetary bound cultures. Assessing, observing, recommending, and suggesting courses of action in future interactions and contact and observations. Does that make sense to you in your language?
Yes. I had a second question, which is, I've been experimenting with a South American brew called ayahuasca.
Yes.
And whenever I've taken ayahuasca, it seems to me that it's sort of gateway.
It can be. There are many natural substances produced by the earth that will allow for the opening of doors and windows into other dimensional realms and perceptions of such. The idea, of course, to remember is that these are teachers, and that once they have truly taught you the idea of the vibrational state that is necessary to peer into those other dimensions and bring information back to apply to your reality, then you can create those states yourself without necessarily needing the physical teacher from that point forward.
I see. So when people talk about ayahuasca as having a spirit, they treat it as if it's got an intelligence of its own.
Of course it does. Everything has an intelligence of its own because everything is made from consciousness.
Because I've noticed that people tend to, practitioners who work with ayahuasca have sort of almost like turned it into a kind of deity. And
well, in the sense that it is an archetypal form, an archetypal representation of consciousness that exists in its own realm, I suppose you could use that term, but it is not the teacher's intention to be deified.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.